Mercury in Virgo in the natal chart, in the birth horoscope. And you can find out if you have your Mercury in Virgo or what sign your Mercury is in by going to my birth chart calculator. I'm putting a link for it here. Just click fill in your details. Even if you don't know your time of birth, it's okay. Just put 12 o'clock or whatever, because Mercury does not change its sign within the same day. And then go to the planetary detail table. You'll see a few different tables and charts. Go to the planetary detail table and check Mercury. What sign? It says with letters there, Mercury, and there they would say Aries, Virgo, whatever. And you have all the other planets, Sun, Mars, whatever. But you just look at Mercury. And if you happen to have Mercury in Virgo, this video is for you. And this is an amazing position. In astrology, we say that when someone has Mercury in Virgo, Mercury is exalted. And Mercury naturally is the planet of communication, is the planet of how you express yourself verbally, how you think, how you learn, how you talk. So it has so much. Mercury is so important about your social persona, about friendships, about social circles, about your skills. Mercury rules your skills. So nowadays in our society, it's extremely mercurial. If you have a good Mercury, you can be, you have a much better chance to be successful, to fit in some way, you know, and to how to communicate, how intelligent people think you are. Mercury does not determine your intelligence, but it determines how well you can express what you have as an inspiration or as belief systems, and how you communicate it to others and your skills. And nowadays, what do we look for? Specialists with skills. And when Mercury is in Virgo, these are people who are amazing specialists, because Virgo is the sign ruled by Mercury, so Mercury is extremely strong there. And basically Virgo is naturally a sign that rules specializing, narrow specialization. So Mercury Virgo people make some, you know, some amazing specialists, amazing experts in a certain field. You know, of course, they can always be a jack of all trades. There are always exceptions, but the exceptions to the rule. But the rule usually is that Mercury, they can take something and they can learn it inside out to perfection. And in one special field, they can be masters, you know. They can be extremely successful there. But Mercury in Virgo, because Virgo is how we learn, and Mercury in Virgo can learn very fast, very well, very precisely. So whatever they put their hands on, they can become extremely proficient and skilled at very quickly. And usually it takes them, you know, they take a topic or a theme or a sphere and they dissect it. Because Mercury in Virgo likes to minimize, likes to simplify, likes to reduce to the parts, to take something and to pick it apart. Like Mercury in Gemini, Mercury also rules Gemini, but Gemini has a different influence. You know, people with Mercury in Gemini, they take bits and pieces and put them together and make something out of them. So they gather pieces of information, learn from here and there, put it in articles, put it together in something structure, whatever. While Mercury in Virgo do the opposite. They take one specific thing, they pull it apart. They can put it into parts. For example, take a computer and open it to see how each little part works, or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be computer. It can be a theory, it can be a subject, and they would construct it. And they like to see things categorized. They like to see things fit into order. So if they have to make a speech or presentation, my God, they will do it in such an orderly, organized way. They would pick it apart and they would come bullet one, bullet two. You know, there's such order and systemized organization when it comes to the mental thinking processes there. So that's why they can be extremely successful at whatever they do, especially in our everyday world nowadays, because it's very mercurial. It's about information, it's about presentations, about administrative organizational skills, and this is all to do with Virgo. And daily routines. So these people are in any kind of administrative jobs. They'll very quickly pick up, they'll very quickly catch what is happening and become very, you know, not only organized, precise in the expression. And when they communicate, they're very articulate. They would not be just blabbering out. They would use very specific language. They would use very to the point language, because Virgo is this perfection, precision sign. And Mercury works so fast there for all different information. So they, you know, however they express it, they would express it in a beautiful, easy, articulate way. They can often use they can have a very wide range of vocabulary to use, because just Mercury in Virgo learns very easily, very quickly, and very specialized vocabulary as well, but they can present it in simple breakdown ways to others. And they can be very good teachers of skills to others, like you can go become their apprentice, or because they would pay attention to perfection and to the details and teach you the ins and outs to perfection of something. But they might be a bit impatient with children, because or people that learn a bit slower sometimes, because Mercury in Virgo is very to the point and very fast in their thinking, and they're critical. If they don't see you doing things well, they can become impatient. Like, for example, with children, instead of encouraging them, they can tell things as they are blatantly and with clarity. So they're better off, if they're going to be in any teaching professions or skill giving or information giving professions, to be working with more adult people, more experienced people. And so let's examine, for example, how do they learn? When they learn, they need to have order around them, systematically again, organizationally. They tend to be often quite good in sciences and mathematics, because there is order, there is logic there is a rationale in mathematics. And of course, they can make also writers. They can make people of artistic and literary creative skills as well. But often I've seen like mathematics come easy to them, biology, such chemistry, all those kind of there are rules, and when you pick things apart, because Virgo kind of rules science, and Mercury, because what is science? We take something, we pick it apart into its different parts and we systemize it and categorize it. So they have a very scientific mind, and they might be quite good with computers as well, like Steve Wozniak. Was it Steve Wozniak? I forgot his name. Wozniak, whatever, had Mercury in Virgo, you see, amazing computer specialist, programmer, and business person as well. But as I said, they're also writers, because Mercury shows your communication style. And let's look at how do writers. You learn a lot about Mercury in Virgo by giving you a few examples of famous writers, their style of writing. The first one is Leo Tolstoy, the Russian writer who wrote Anna Karenina, War and Peace. And there is something that I took out from the internet. I've read the books, but what it says, what is the style of Leo Tolstoy of writing, which is Mercury. He has Mercury in Virgo. He uses ordinary events and characters to examine war, religion, feminism, and other topics. He was convinced that philosophical principles could only be understood in their concrete expression in history. And all his work is characterized by uncomplicated style, careful construction, and deep insight. His chapters are short, like Virgo. Virgo likes to reduce, to minimize, short, simple. But he paid much attention, to detail of everyday life. Virgo naturally rules everyday life and routines and tasks we have to do every day. Leo Tolstoy, when you read his books, there will be descriptions of someone sitting, drinking their tea, talking about everyday topics, about the corn in the fields, about how to fix their car, to just, it's very interesting how he takes everyday things, everyday topics, everyday situations in life, very mundane. Virgo is mundane, it doesn't look for the dramatic, but describes important philosophical belief systems through that. And just like they say, he was convinced that philosophical principles could only be understood in their concrete expression, because Virgo is an earth sign and they need concrete. Some information, whether it's abstract, philosophical, whatever, they need concrete example in life. They need to be able to associate it with daily, mundane living life, to be productive, efficient, effective in some way. And they can even take very complicated topics like war and peace, and like belief and philosophy, and reduce it to simplicity, reduce it to everyday events, and explain it like that. And another thing that they say about Leo Tolstoy, sorry about that. Then another writer with Mercury in Virgo is, I wrote here down, D.H. Lawrence. That was a British writer. And what they say about his style is that he never involved his own ego, like the the author, you can't hear his voice, he always speaks from the point of view of the character. And this is also something very Virgo-like, because they don't like to be center of attention. They like to be at the background, and even writers speak more from the they have minimal authorial interventions, so they give more the perspective of the characters. And they don't intervene with their own opinions, because Virgo is the sign that tries to remove ego from the picture, because Virgo is the sign which is kind of humble, and which is just tries to be, when you remove ego from perceptions, which is Mercury, how you perceive the world, you become very objective. You give very objective and factual and descriptive, in a concrete way, descriptions of the situation, rather than putting the ego, putting personal opinions, putting your own slant of view, which might be Mercury in Leo, for example, will do that, or Mercury in Aries will do that, or Mercury in Cancer, because they'll put the emotions there. But Mercury in Virgo, they'll do it in a specific way, they'll do it in a rational way when they observe, and they'll try not to decorate the reality. They would say it simple as it is. And interestingly, Virgo is depicted by a prepubescent girl. It's a girl that's before, in 11, 10 years old. It's not like the luscious virgin at 25 that's virgin. No, Virgo is actually, the ancient depiction of Virgo is a child, is a little girl. And what are children known for? Saying the truth as it is. Oh, the king is naked, This is Virgo Mercury people would do that. They would not pamper you around with their words. They'll see the truth, the facts, and they'll tell them to you. If you want someone to be honest with you, sometimes even brutally honest, ask Mercury in Virgo person. They'll just dissect you. And that's why they're known that sometimes when they communicate with others, they can be critical. And it's not so much criticism as their, first of all, attention to detail. They notice it. Mercury's perceptions, they notice detail wonderfully. And second of all, because they say things as they are, simple. They don't want to complicate. They don't put their own ego and personal opinions there. They see it, they say it, And there is Mercury in Virgo, though. They can be very funny. But their sense of humor is not slapstick, crazy all over the place. Actually, it's more because Virgo, again, is a reductionist sign. They'll not be talking much. For them, it's not the quantity of how much they talk. Like Mercury in Gemini can be talking. For them, it's quantity. For Mercury in Virgo, it's the quality of what they say. So you can see them being quiet, observing, because Virgo is more introspective. It's a female sign. It's a sign that analyzes, watches, observes, analyzes, introspects inside, dissects you inside. And they'll watch, and then say like a punchline, or it might be funny, it can be quite not sarcastic, but can be like dry humor, but extremely funny. And because they're so good observationists, they make amazing comedians. Like, I think Matthew Perry had Mercury in Virgo. Remember, he's from Friends, and he played Chandler, the witty funny guy who'd always say those sarcastic remarks and witty and dry humor remarks, and everyone was everyone knew him for that. Or because often, even though this is his own personal character, actors tend to play in movies roles that correspond to their character. Another comedian is, for example, Steve Carell with this position. Again, it's not in your face, it's not body, it's not overly complicated. It's simple to the point. Bill Murray as well. He's known for punchliners, dry humor, take no fools. What is it? No nonsense type of guy. And so that's this sense of humor, dry to the point, and when they communicate, they can be more quiet often. It's not for everyone in Virgo, but the norm is that they sit and observe, and then they say something so witty. And that's my little brother. I'm a chatterbox, and he's like 16 now, 17. And when I go there, he would rarely say a word. He would just sit and watch, and he would say something and bam, so witty. And once he told me, it was so funny when he was little, he said, if I don't become a scientist or archaeologist, I'll become a robber. And I was like, what? Yeah, I'll steal things. And I said, why? And he said, because I notice so many things that others don't notice, and I can do it so quickly that I notice where everything is, everything is positioned, and people don't notice those things. And that was a child of 10, 11 years to notice those things that others don't pay attention so much to details. And I hope he never stole to know that he's good at that. But he said, oh, it's so easy. And I also knew back then in the past, someone who was amazing con artist. I mean, notorious, not amazing, but he'll never get caught with documents, with all kind of stuff. Please don't judge me, Mercury in Virgo people. Like, I don't judge people. I have friends from all walks of life. And I would ask him, how come you were never caught? And he said, because I planned everything to such perfection, to the last detail. And I always had plan B, C, and I would never leave any marks there. So that's why they could never catch me. That's what Mercury in Virgo is. I'm not saying they're notorious robbers and conners. The morality of a person does not depend on the planet Mercury, but because they're so good with detail, they notice things others can't notice. So they can be so precise with planning. And actually, they never go do something without planning it out well, without preparing well for it. And actually they might have plan A, plan B, plan C. And it's amazing to watch them in action, how they prepare and how they start meticulously implementing their plan one by one. But because they prepare everything in advance, because they ruminate, they think, they analyze a lot, they often might have more nervous energy than others because they can't switch off the mind. They find it hard. I have a brother-in-law who is one of the best lawyers. Mercury in Virgo makes some of the best lawyers, by the way, because Mercury in Virgo is all about the details, and the small print and the fine print, and being able to do great argumentation, because they can argue, they can kill you with facts, and they can present the information in such a in a way that disarms you with the factual, evidential influence. That's what, circumstances or whatever, facts. So they are totally can make some of the best lawyers. So what I meant to say is that my brother-in-law, he one of the best lawyers in South Africa, but he never shows when he's stressed or worried, but he puts it inside, all this mental energy, all this planning, all this worrying. It usually does not show on the outside, but it goes inside. So they're also susceptible to nervous tensions and nervous energy and worrying. So Mercury, Virgo are warriors, not like fighters, but someone who worries a lot, who tries to prepare everything, who tries to make everything is perfect and running and organized perfectly. So it's definitely, when you don't allow things to chance ever, when you think that you have to personally be involved in everything and oversee everything to the smallest detail, this will make you worry. This will make you go out of your head. I very rarely plan anything. I come out and I speak like that, and probably you Mercury and Virgo people would be horrified that I have no structure in my videos and that I just jump from one topic to another, then I come back to the previous and I lose my thought. And if it was a Mercury and Virgo person, they would have points then. They'll go one after another over them. But because of all this over preparation and over planning, there is this tendency to worry. There is this tendency to stress more. There is this tendency to perfectionism. And another, I was talking about writers, philosophers, Hegel was a philosopher with Mercury in Virgo. Actually, Mercury in Virgo are not usually so much interested in philosophy and such abstract, intangible things. They're much more into practical. What information can I receive that I can implement and use it practically and efficiently? I'm not interested in learning about what is the difference between soul and spirit and things like that. But if I learn about something like that, how can I implement it in my daily reality that I become more productive, that I become more successful? You know, if I learn this, how can it help me? Or fix something or improve something. So that's the kind of information they're more interested about, practical, and often they learn very easily in any different ways, by visualization, by showing. But because Virgo is the sign of the apprentice, they learn very well if someone shows them something and they can be there and observe it directly, and they'll repeat it wonderfully. But I was giving an example, one of philosopher who had Mercury in Virgo, look at his thinking, it was Hegel. And what his philosophy is synthesized with is that the rational alone is real. Again, it's an earth sign. It does not want abstract, invisible things, idealistic things. It wants practical. Its perceptions are about the real, tangible world. And what it says is that reality is capable of being expressed in rational categories. And his goal, and again, you see Virgo categorizing, taking reality, putting it into different categories. And Hegel also said his goal was to reduce reality to a more synthetic unity. Again, reductionist, Mercury in Virgo. And he hoped that philosophy should not and will not contradict experience, but give data of experience to the philosophical. Again, he takes philosophical and makes it practical, makes it evidential, makes it experiential, which is earth sign, Virgo, you know. So you see how they think. I gave you an example, Leo Tolstoy, and how he would present very complicated belief systems in simple ways through daily experiences. And as I said, they try to stay away from the dramatic way of expression verbally. They would not be like a Mercury in Virgo, intonations, hands around, you know, but they'll be very to the point, very articulate, very clear, with very wide vocabulary and specialized language as well. And let's see who else has Mercury in Virgo, to give you as an example. I gave you the example of a few comedians. Let's give you an example, because Mercury represents skills. Let's give you a few designers to see how their skills are implemented into their designs. Coco Chanel, Mercury in Virgo. Attention to detail, perfection. What was her style? Because it's like Mercury, Venus will also show you what you find beautiful, but when it comes to you being a designer, Mercury gives you the skill to draw it, to put it together. That's what Mercury is. And what she said about fashion is that her style was simplicity, elegance, and comfort. The key element of her style, and she said for everyone, simplicity, elegance, comfort. So much Mercury in Virgo, or any Virgo energy. No, it should be simple, not complicated. This is Virgo, earthly sign. Not ostentatious, not in your face. This is Virgo again, staying behind. Simple, Virgo reductionist, you know. And comfort, earthly. Earth sign is about comfort, it's about practicality, it's about being efficient. And another designer, Tom Ford. What did Tom Ford say? One of his saying is that the biggest luxury now is silence. Again, it's very Mercury in Virgo, because they can be silent when they want to observe. And his style, Tom Ford, impeccable, perfection. And he also said style, it should not be complicated, it should be simple. And you should have a few staple things that you always wear, which is, again, Virgo is not about having loads and loads and loads of clothes. And it's about, again, efficiency, simplicity, something that fits, that works well. And he says, Tom Ford, have a few of the same suits. If they work of the same style, have them. Have 2 or 3 things, staple things that you always wear, you know, rather than go every day with a different thing. Again, Mercury in Virgo, simplicity. Karl Lagerfeld, he followed after Coco Chanel. He took Chanel. Again, impeccable, simple style. line, classical cuts. This is and again, this is not about fashion so much, but Mercury in Virgo, if you have a style of drawing, painting, if you're an artist of some sort, again, it will be more simplistic, more elegant shapes, more focused on the quality of the detail, the perfection of the detail and precision of the detail. And Mercury in Virgo people, as I said, they can worry a lot, and the more evolved of them, because Virgo rules the underdog, Virgo rules those afflicted, those in trouble, Virgo rules those marginalized, Virgo rules the weaker ones, those in lower social classes and states, those with less than yourself. And these people, Mercury is thinking, they can think a lot, the more evolved one, about such topics. They can think about how they can help those in need, how they can make something that is not working well more efficient, how they can fix a situation that is wrong. For example, Mother Teresa had Mercury in Virgo, and she was thinking all the time about the underprivileged, organizing, helping. She was, and it's one thing just to believe we should help the poor. It's another thing to take practical steps and do it, because Mercury is the organizer. In Virgo, they can be very great organizers for the underprivileged, for people in difficult situations, people in some crisis as well, the poor, the ill, the sick, the disadvantaged of any sort. They can be great social organizers or managers of such situations, so they can straighten, do practical steps, which is Mercury, to improve such situations. And for example, many medicine people, doctors, healers have Mercury in Virgo. They're amazing with that. First of all, Virgo is kind of sign of science, put things down, breaks down together and categorizes it. And then Mercury, they think a lot about health, about routines, about how to make the body work, which is all Virgo, how to maintain the body, how to heal the body, how to straighten situations out of balance, which is disease. So often such people would be great advocators, communicators about health, about nutrition, exercise. Raquel Welch has Mercury in Virgo, and she was doing all those exercise videos, and she was she doesn't smoke, she doesn't eat, she speaks all the time about healthy living and simple natural living, And again, as I said, many healers, doctors can have Mercury in Virgo. It's a very good position for that. And also lawyers, because lawyers go where situations are unbalanced, pay attention to the detail and balance it. Try to balance it at least to some extent, and because that's Virgo. Virgo is the sign of where there is imbalance. And Mercury there, they can be very good in professions that need fixing something, improving a system that doesn't work, a business that doesn't work, for example, medicine, law, going into conflictual disagreement situations and or situations that are unequal, trying to fix them. For example, I know one of the board director of a very famous big bank, and very dear friend. And he takes banks, he sees what doesn't work in them and he fixes them. That's Virgo, fix things in Mercury. He's amazing. And all friends of ours, they go to him when they have a business idea or something that needs practical resolution and ask him. And they tell him their idea, and he immediately dissects it and tells them 10 other things that they didn't think about, how to present the idea, how this idea can be used in a more efficient way, in a more practical way. So he's amazing. They have such amazing analytical abilities. That's why it's the best sign for Mercury. As they say, the only downside is that they can worry a lot. Sometimes in extreme cases can be hypochondriacs, all the time thinking about health and things like that. And talking that they're very good organizers, for example, Pippa Middleton, I just looked at the first few celebrities that have it, and if you know, she did the sister of Katie Middleton, the Duchess. Pippa Middleton, she did her book for party organization, because organizing parties, and she paid great attention to every detail, to everything was perfectly done. And she's actually now preparing a book on nutrition, or I think even she's making a company on nutrition and healthy lifestyle and healthy living. So very much Virgo mentality, what Virgo can think about. Mercury in Virgo, basically. Madonna has Mercury in Virgo, and you'd say there is nothing Virgo about her, but actually Madonna is plans everything to perfection. All her appearances, nothing is just spur of the moment. Everything, if you watch her, or at least that's how it looks to me, it's very well prepared and worked out before, and it's thought out well. She's great planner, she's great organizer. And she's not known to blabber too much either. She's more careful with her words, what she says, and possibly when you're such a big celebrity, you have to be. And I think we said almost everything what we could about Mercury in Virgo. So wherever Mercury in Virgo is, whatever house, the person will be a very good manager, very highly organized there, with a tendency to worry a bit, but a tendency to be able to make miracles out in that house, because whenever we have an exalted planet, it can make lemonade out of lemons. When it's in the first house, anything we spoke about the person now matters, because the first house is your overall personality, so they can be good in all those topics that we talked about. When Mercury, and their whole personality is very clever, very witty, great, amazing managers, organizers, communicators. It's an amazing position for Mercury in Virgo. They succeed in their life through mercurial activities, or like they can be law, medicine, administrative business. Mercury rules all those things, and they can be great at all those. Mercury in the second house, they can be amazing at making more effective financial systems, at organizing finances, managing finances, or some kind of a resources of sort, resources of knowledge, of information, resources of usually more material resources, and they can take a business and sort out budget, its finances. They can be probably good accountants of sorts, because second house finances, values, or they can be very good connoisseurs when Mercury is in the second house of valuables, for example, of assessors of objects of value, like what's that called? Antiques, maybe something like that. Mercury in the third house, amazing communicators, amazing ability to plan, to organize, to network, amazing ability to take information and to teach others skills through that information, to take information, dissect it, and present it in a breakdown way, easy to understand. Again, its third house is the mind, communications. They can be very successful in media of some sort, in any kind of presentations, communications, usually of more technical nature, because Virgo is a bit more technical, more scientific. They can write a lot, they can speak a lot, and they'll do it to an amazing level, to a really good quality. Fourth house, they can be very good organizers and managers of daily, of home things, of family life. I know a friend who has Mercury in Virgo in the fourth house. She has 3 children, bless her, and all her clothes, they're organized in color, they're organized in the color scheme, and everything is perfect. And she has nannies, and she's always never happy with the nannies. She's critical towards them, and she wishes they're always much better. But that's Mercury in Virgo. Because they themselves are perfectionists, they might find it hard to approve the work of others, but she's an amazing at running the whole home and environment around. And for example, they can be great at hotels, at tourism business, at managing properties, property managers, or running business from home or something like that. Analyzers of feelings, fourth house is feelings, maybe sometimes psychologists even analyzing, helping reduce complex feelings into something more simple through the mind. Cognitive therapists, maybe, Mercury in the fifth house, naturally, creatives, fifth house is more creative, so they can be great managers for creative arts, organizers, planners of parties, of fun, of amusements, and things like that. They can themselves have an artistic, creative talent that they can, comedic or something like that, or oratorship talent. Sixth house, lawyers, judges. Sixth house is this house of Virgo again, which is very much Mercury there, feels in its own waters. So they can be fixing situations that need balancing in some sort, unbalanced situations. Medicals, very people in medical professions have Mercury in Virgo, and they're brilliant medics in the 6th house, or people that are in the litigation in some sort. Mercury in Virgo, amazing ones, especially when they're two sides arguing and quarreling. They're amazing, you know. In the 7th house, they can be Mercury great organizers and managers of business deals, contracts. Also lawyers that try to sort out, again, 7th houses, two people face to face trying to resolve something, and Mercury in Virgo there, they can be a great lawyer in that respect. 7th house is all kind of transactions between two people, counselors, advisors, someone who needs advice to, you know, one-to-one. Mercury in Virgo there can give it. Business advisors as well. Relationships advisors, they can see a relationship situation in a much more realistic way and help with that. Mercury in the 8th house, big finances, money, banks, other people's money, great organizers and managers in critical situations, in people in crisis situations of sort. They might be even very great researchers of the occult, of the unknown, investigators, spies, you know, not spies, but detectives, almost getting to the bottom of something, untangling till they get to the very senses of a matter. Or they can be spokesmen or writers about occult, hidden, secret topics, taboo topics of sorts, communicators about such things. Mercury in the 9th house, this is more like, I think Hegel had that. So he talks about philosophy, beliefs, and he expresses them in easy to understand practical ways, and he basically taking complicated belief systems and putting them into experience, in practical experience. They can be good teachers, professors, taking principles and explaining them and using them practically of sort. They can be great practical organizers for businesses, international businesses, foreign languages of sort, higher education professorships, all those things. Coaches. 10th house, naturally amazing at any business. Mercury in the 10th house, this creates the yoga that it's called Mercury yoga. They become incarnation of Mercury, basically, just like Mercury in the 1st house in Virgo. And they can, anything mercurial, they're amazing at planning. They're just known for these qualities of theirs. And any mercurial careers that I mentioned, top notch. Mercury in the 11th house, often in economics, big systems or intricate, complicated systems that they can find and orient themselves and manage and organize such complicated, intricate systems, because 11th house rules groups and organizations and systems without a center. So like the economy, like economics, like computer, internet, such things like that. And naturally, it's a very gainful position. Mercury in Virgo in the 11th house, these people can make money. These people can make money from markets, from businesses. This is a very business position there, Mercury in the 11th house, from big groups and organizations, managing them, organizing them of some sort. And Mercury in the 12th house, they can be amazing researchers, dig deep, because 12th house is this house that isolates and wants to get to the bottom of things again, to understand things in depth. So amazing researchers, scientists of sorts can be. Or more creative, but again, if they're in any creative field, because 12th house is the imagination, they'll be very much detailed, very much perfectionist state. Watching Mercury in Virgo people prepare and organize can be fascinating. I'll give example with my little brother again, because that's my most personal experience. For example, when he's getting ready for school from the age of 8 already onwards, he would prepare and lay out his clothes the day before in a color coordinated way. This is funny. And he would go like with a red top and red trousers, always coordinates colors. And he would be prepared, and he would take 2 or 3 t-shirts with him or tops for school, fold them nicely, prepare them. And I was asking him, why are you doing that? Because you want to show off your clothes? He said, no, because if I dirty them, I sweat, I want to change, so I'm clean. So you see Mercury in Virgo again, that they're not about showing off so much, but about the practicality, efficiency, the hygiene and cleanliness about, that, and that's how they organize things overall. Or for example, I would be extremely impatient with things, and for example, my microphone, would always get entangled with all those, and I'll never put it correctly. So when I try to disentangle it and shoot the video, I'll start like pushing, getting angry, and my little brother would just come to me and say, wait, and he would slowly start piece by piece putting it apart, detangling it, and it's soothing. It's like watching him do it. It's like meditation. They have this amazing skill to untangle, organize things in a systematic, logical way, rather than frustrated Aries Mercury way like me. So that's another thing that is funny about Mercury in Virgo most often.